So Ray Fiennes, Pete, the actor's actor.
Sure, when you think of Schindler's List, I met him at the Academy Awards, sat right next to him when he was nominated, and of course, English Patient.
That's right. And his two recent movies, of course, are The Constant Gardener and The White Countess. Should we bring him over?
Let's let him join us.
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, guys. Hello. Two Peters.
That's right.
If one looks at your filmography, I mean, there were times you did Schindler's List, The English Patient, and all the media in this country were writing about star in the making.
Yeah.
And obviously
that's always
you
a dangerous thing.
Well, it is. But you didn't have any intention of being a star in the making. Obviously, you didn't choose a group of pictures after that were star-building roles. You didn't sign with that top agent and go after the $10 million part.
It's a weird thing when that happened. That whole Schindler's List success, which was great, but it was like in a way it was like an onslaught of attention that I never expected, and was at the same time as I was thrilled and delighted, it was also had its scary side, because people are suddenly saying, look who this is, here comes this person, and you're feeling bewildered by the labels that are put onto you suddenly. No, when we were making it, there was a fantastic, amazing feeling between cast and crew. It was actually not unlike a great ensemble feeling in the theatre. Right. We were all in the same hotel. You'd come in from these long days, and we started in the winter in Poland. It was very, very cold, and there was a sense of sort of unity between everyone. Right. And there was no hierarchy of actors and film stars. Liam hung out with everyone else in the cast at the bar and the hotel, and the crew as well. And there were days when you just, and I think Stephen hadn't, I mean, hadn't worked with him before, but you could feel there's an energy running through Steven Spielberg. He was kind of possessed with a sort of spontaneous inventiveness every day on the set. He once said to me, I feel like I'm making my first film. I have all this energy. He said to me, usually I storyboard every film. This I don't think he storyboarded any of it. He was like thinking on his feet, and then he had a lot of handheld stuff, and he was saying to his camera operator, do that, get there, no, change it, come here. This guy had a huge camera he was carrying, and it just felt this energy coming out of Stephen, and it infected everyone else.
So can I ask you some pedantic questions about acting? I was reading some reviews in The Economist about Laurence Olivier's biography, and there were some quotes about him that interested me. For example, there was one of the biographer said that Olivier picked up mannerisms, but he wasn't wondering what the person was like. He was just focused on the mannerisms. Mm. Is that a legitimate distinction to make?
I think the two can help one another. They can be complementary. I think there can be a mannerism that can help you find the inside of a character.
Well, you see, there was a difference. I mean, sometimes Laurence Olivier, even as great an actor as he was criticized for being a brilliant mimic, but not having really any interest in the people he played, or for that matter, people with whom he interacted.
Does it matter?
I think it matters in terms of whether a role is performed in a superficial way, or whether you really feel that he becomes that persona.
Yeah, I don't know. I find Olivier completely mesmeric. And there's something when I watch his films, and I never saw him on stage, where I don't really know if it's, I mean, like in, say, Marathon Man comes to mind. Mm-hmm. I mean...
Which was amazing
extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether, I couldn't tell you whether it was superficial or not, or whether, but I go with it. I'm completely, completely absorbed by this thing that's happening in this spirit. I think he's pure actor. I don't know that the language of inhabiting it from the inside and the emotional truth. I think he's just a sort of acting creature. Mm-hmm.
So along comes Mike Newell and cast you in the new Harry Potter as the villain. Yeah. And he said, I wanted Rafe because I saw him in Schindler's List, and he's the perfect villain, and he's a star. And there you go again. It's back to looking at that quality.
The playing Voldemort might take the curse off what you were talking about earlier.
That's true.
Because every single journalist I've talked to talking about Constant Gardener, White Countess, wanted to talk about playing Voldemort. And they tell me that forever I will be known as Voldemort.
Well, it may be true, but Mike Newell is a terrific filmmaker, and he'll get the best out of you for sure. Why do you like playing the villain, the dark character?
I didn't know. It took me a long time to decide to do Voldemort.
Right.
It took me a long time. Initially, I had a real divided sense of whether I should do it.
Why?
Because I suppose I thought it's, you know, I hadn't been hugely impressed by the early Harry Potters. I hadn't bought into that world, and it was the fourth one, and
That's a good enough reason.
and I hadn't also, I can't pretend that I'm an obsessive fan of Harry Potter. I didn't know the books, so this script came to me. I could see it was a sort of juicy bad guy scene at the end. But then I meet my own brothers and sisters who are parents, who tell me, you got to do it. This is crazy. You've got to do. You don't know what this means. And I have never had such conflicted opinions from friends who I asked. What do you think? Some people said, don't touch it, don't touch it. You know, it's the fourth one. Why do you want to do that? Other people said, you've got to be kidding. It's a no-brainer. You've got to do it. Why would you not do it? And I was Mary Selway, great British casting director, who's sadly no longer with us, was very tenacious in getting me to do it, and Mike Newell as well. And I was very honest with Mike. I said, I really would love to work with you, but I don't know where to go with this. I'm really half and half. And he sat down with me and he showed me some pictures they had done, artwork with the look. And I guess the little kid in me that likes to dress up and be bad just went, yeah, I want to do it, because it looked so spooky and weird.